The following is a Vincent Velarde feature presentation. Baseball. A game many kids grow to fall in love with. A game where as an adult, you reflect back on your childhood and think about where it all began. It's a game you learn to respect as you mature into the player you've become today. As a player, you don't forget what got you here. You don't even realize the doors and avenues this amazing sport opens up for you.
This team is special.
Not only your skill set,
He's on another level.
but the relationships you build along the way.
Let's go.
Baseball is a game, yes, but in many ways, it's a game that relates to everyday life.
Big Vin. So I got a baby on the way in October.
I don't care about anything else, baby. Congrats, kid.
There are goals,
This guy, Dozy, has lifted this team to new heights.
adversity,
Let's put up a few right here. All right, let's not make this dramatic, all right?
and amazing accomplishments.
This team is real.
But the one thing we don't think about enough through the journey of baseball is what we play for. Is it the stats?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. He's gonna score.
This is unbelievable.
Is it the bragging rights of taking someone deep?
Another bomb for Jamie Morales. What else is new?
Striking someone out? Or is there something more? Something deeper? How about winning?
This team is a force to be reckoned with.
Not only winning, but winning it all.
There it is. The Jacks have won it all for the first time in franchise history.
Yeah, that's great too, but there's something even deeper and more impressive than that. How about a dynasty? How about going to 5 straight championships and winning 4 out of 5, and accomplishing that unselfishly as a family? How many teams can say they've done that? Not many. But one team for sure can say that and walk with their heads held high are the Westchester Lumberjacks. They have given us everything we could have hoped for and more the last 5 seasons.
This Lumberjack buzzsaw is shredding up the league once again.
Amazing, come from behind wins when no one thought it would even be possible.
Jordan Kosterick, walk-off home run! Unbelievable! I can't believe this just happened! The Lumberjacks are going to be back-to-back champions!
Players stepping up in many different types of situations, creating all the success they have accomplished in the last 5 seasons. If it weren't for these moments, we wouldn't be sitting here today celebrating this team. What about the laughs? The heart, the love this group had for each other along the way. This can't be matched. When you think back to the last 5 seasons, the 3 words that come to mind are toughness, family, and dynasty.
That spells dynasty to me, ladies and gentlemen.
Reflect back, soak in all of the incredible moments, and never forget this iconic organization, as the Lumberjacks will be back and continue to live on in our hearts forever. The journey. Where to begin? It all starts at the top. The coach, the leader who puts all of the right pieces together.
We added some nice pieces. Some guys from the Mud Hens came by, added some nice pieces of chemistry to the pot. Everything was great, you know. Chemistry really took us through in that year.
It's a process, he says. This incredible dynasty run all began back in 2017 during training camp.
Yo, welcome to spring training.
Coach and GM Marco Sagno had come off a string of successful seasons leading his team to the postseason, but just couldn't seem to get over that semifinal hump. But to get over that hump, Sagno had to go to the drawing boards and really come up with a good game plan. It all started in the off-season, where Segno acquired a whole new slew of talent from previous championship caliber teams in years past. Coach Segno took full advantage of the opportunity and fit all of the right pieces into his working puzzle to build a powerhouse that would serve him well not only for 2017, but for years to come. Right off the bat, as the Lumberjacks entered training camp, they gelled immediately. You would think these guys were together for years. It was like you already knew the season would be a success, just a matter of how successful it would end up. As the season began, the Jacks didn't waste any time as they rattled off wins left and right. All the new acquisitions stepped up big time. We remember players like Frank Verricchio, John Ruffalo, and Larry Castrovinci, who made an immediate impact on the team. It seemed like sluggers Jeremy Brooks and Jamie Morales were hitting ropes every at-bat.
This guy's a monster baller.
Slugger Will Falco also added some pop to this overwhelming lineup. Johnny Richko and Chris Arenberg led the pitching rotation, shutting down lineups like it was nobody's business.
And here is H doing what he does best.
Along with Marco, Jordan, Doc Kostrich, and Big Papa Scotty Perlman, keeping the rotation afloat and mowing down hitters on their own. It was a collective team effort.
This team is a force to be reckoned with.
Kostrich also prevailed with his bat and off the field with his hands as well, as he was also the team trainer, keeping everyone healthy. The combination of great pitching, power hitting, and timely clutch at-bats were a perfect formula for championship success. Then you add some speed and really smart gritty at-bats from shortstop and head coach Marco Segno and Rob Iarachi. As the season progressed, the chemistry started to take new heights. As game changer and chemistry builder, Joe Elber came into the mix. Elber made pitchers feel as if they'd be lucky to come out of the game alive after facing this guy. He was a monster at the plate, tearing the cover off of the ball, and off the field, had a very warped but hilarious way of making his presence known, and his teammates fed off his antics. You also had Lou the Hulk Oso, who had a mind of his own. When you combine that with Elber's craziness, it makes one great cast of characters, which other teammates would feed off of.
Most vicious elbow in all of wrestling history.
Speaking of the Hulk, he was not only a character, but he killed it on the field, hitting absolute lasers all over the place. One of the most complete veteran hitters in the fold. The team bonded like crazy and wins kept coming, week after week.
From the start, we were hot, and there was never a doubt all season.
The addition of Valdez would just make the Jacks' depth chart overwhelming and be important in the long run. Steve added a little flavor to the lineup and be important in the long run. Then you had the grizzled veteran, Steven Uncle Sex Miller. The Silver Fox kept up with the young guns. Veteran utility player Vinny Velarde had some big hits of his own. You also had Kevin Chang, who was the bell cow for the Jacks.
Oh yeah, baby!
This was as complete of a team as it got. The Jacks closed out the regular season with a 21-4 record, the number 1 seed and a first-round bye. But little did they know the challenges that lied ahead. The semifinals did not start out the way Coach Segno and the Jacks had hoped. It was a very uncharacteristic start for them to enter the postseason the way they did, dropping Game 1 to the Field Kings in blowout fashion.
And that was the only time all season I ever doubted that we were going to win.
And in Game 2, the first 6 innings were no different. The Jacks had no other choice but to get right in a hurry.
I thought we were going to win the whole time. We were down 5 runs. I said, we're going to win this game.
Well, the best part about baseball, you can't run the clock out. All right, everybody gets their fair shot. All right, now's our chance. All right, what do we have left in the tank?
Sometimes it just happens that way. You got to stay in the game. You always got to believe you're in it until you're not.
Let's see what we're made of right now.
Let's go. Family 3, 1, 2, 3.
Segno had a very heartfelt speech that breathed new life and changed the whole dynamic of the Jacks' mentality heading into the last inning facing elimination.
This team is real.
That spark rallied them 4 runs and led them to a 1-run deficit, down to their last strike.
And Frank Verricchio, like the true hero and man he is, came through with 2 strikes, the bottom of the last inning, and won us that game. And the second that happened, I knew we were going all the way.
As he had done all year, Frank had the biggest at-bat of his career, and the Jacks tied the game, and into extra innings they went. Brooks hits a game-winning single.
This is unbelievable.
Veteran Scott Perlman closed the door and the Jacks were right back in the series. The following week, the Jacks rode the momentum and Jordan Kostrich hit a 3-run bomb into right field to seal the deal and propel the Lumberjacks to their first championship in their young franchise's history.
And the Lumberjacks win it. They reach the championship.
In the championship, the Jacks would face off with a familiar foe and the Westchester Hurricanes, a team that was constantly the blockade between them and the championship in previous seasons. But in 2017, the Lumberjacks would flip the script and never look back.
I came through in a clutch and got a 2 RBI double in the latter innings. Yeah, that pretty much put us ahead for the game. It felt like all the hard work finally paid off. Felt like we finally arrived and we had, really started to catch our steam and I thought we were going to take off from there.
The Jacks absolutely manhandled the Hurricanes in a 2-game sweep to earn their first championship title in franchise history.
For the first time in franchise history, this team is special.
The feeling was unexplainable. There's nothing like winning your first. It's satisfying and you feel on top of the world. But as time progresses, you either become complacent or addicted. Well, the Jacks needed more.
1, 2, 3, bam!
In 2018, they continued right where they left off.
And this Lumberjack buzzsaw is continuing to shred this league up once again.
2018 brought some new faces such as Jordan Holtz, a game changer in the closer role for the Jacks. Pascual Negro also stepped up as more of a starter in 2018. The Jacks added some depth to the left side of the plate, adding Chris Beretta, who was a great piece. Kevin Carvin added some power and clutch value to the lineup, depth behind the plate, and on the hill when we needed it. Other than that, there was much more of the same from the previous season.
Wow, blowing my mind.
As the 18 season progressed, Jacks dealt with more hurdles that were out of their control. The weather, rain, and more rain, shortening their season to 16 games. The Jacks' lack of consistency with games played and off weeks knocked them off kilter a bit, but they kept afloat, grinding to a 10-5-1 record and another solid run to the chip to defend their crown.
And the Lumberjacks win it! They've reached the championship!
Only this time, they would be dealing with adversity in the final game of the championship. Down to their final out once again. Final strike. What else is new? But this time, Doc Kostrich was the championship hero.
Jordan Kostrich! Walk-off home run! Unbelievable! I can't believe this just happened! The Lumberjacks are going to be back-to-back champions! The love is real!
Kostrich hit a walk-off, series-sealing moonshot 2-run blast to give the Jacks their second straight title in a row. Amazing. 2 in a row. A trend was starting to form for this franchise.
That's gonna be some hell of fucking film right there.
Once 2019 hit, the Jacks continued to build their team. They added Joe Melendez for depth in the lineup to replace Valdez as he went overseas to join the Marine Corps. Longtime slugger Rocky Nicotina joined the juggernaut, which bolstered the lineup even more. Richie Acevedo also came back to add some pop to the lineup.
Wow, blowing my mind.
With the absence of Johnny Risco down the stretch, veteran pitcher Craig Robinson stepped in as the ace, plowing through 2019 and helping propel the Jacks to their third straight title. It was just another dominating season with a three-peat on the line, but this championship run wasn't quite as gut-wrenching as the previous two. Headed into a best-of-5 series with an up-and-coming Westchester legacy team, the Jacks cruised to a 14-2 massacre statement win in Game 1.
This is just a flat-out massacre.
Just when you thought it would be a clean sweep, the legacy made a statement of their own, taking Game 2 as the series was now tied.
The Lumberjacks look disgusted with this performance.
In Game 3, ace starter Craig Robinson came up huge with a sore arm dominating the legacy and giving the Jacks a 2-1 lead in the series. In Game 4, the Jacks fed off the momentum and came up clutch at the plate.
Brooks has just come up with the best hit of the season for the Jacks.
They also had a clutch gritty performance from Chris Ehrenberg and Scott Perlman to shut the door on the legacy to give the Jacks a three-peat.
Three-peat! The Lumberjacks are champions for a third straight year in a row! Unbelievable!
This team had officially put the stamp on the dynasty. '20 would be a whole new story and a whole new different set of hurdles that had nothing to do with baseball. 2020 had a very bizarre beginning to the year. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Lumberjacks had to quarantine before they could even start practicing for opening day. The season was delayed till mid-July, not to mention the Lumberjacks joined a more competitive league, the HVNABA, where the Jacks would battle it out with newer, more competitive teams. As 2020 began, the Lumberjacks hit the gym and training facilities hard to get in baseball shape. It seemed as if each year, Marco had a new challenge ahead of him, but was ready for the task.
Go out there, win every fucking inning.
Connell Cup was a huge addition as he added depth behind the plate and a good bat to go along with his boyish good looks.
Wow!
DH and first baseman Brett Holtz was also added to the roster for power from the left side,
Brett Holtz with a bang!
as well as Steve Pinto, another huge value pick added to the 2020 roster. Scrappy infielder Jeff Patondo would also grind out at bats.
Chemistry is just there. It's just great playing with a group of guys that you mesh with.
Jeff Patondo smacks one!
Starting rotation was almost at its franchise best as they added 2 new studs to the rotation alongside Johnny Risco.
The Big Three! This guy's made immediate dividends, and Johnny H. have really been the staple of this rotation.
The Jacks also added Jimmy Kane and Justin Perlman to the roster to help eat up innings on the mound and would pick up key wins and save arms for the Jacks rotation as a whole. The team was stacked. Veterans Joe Elber, Jamie Morales, and Marco Segno would light the league on fire, and the new additions would just add fuel to it.
Seeing the talent we had already, I was blessed, especially after seeing our competition and some of the weaknesses they showed as we whooped their ass.
The Jacks rattled off 17 wins and the number 1 seed.
And the Jacks' magical journey continued.
But again, once the playoffs began, the Jacks had to play the comeback kings role once again.
As a collective unit, make a concerted effort to win. I think that's the difference between us and a lot of teams. You know, always believing we're in it. The next pitch is the most important. The moment is the moment. The situation is the situation. You got to play it out for what it is.
They find themselves in the championship for a 4th straight year.
The championship would be held at a very special place, Credit Union Park in Rockland, New York. The Lumberjacks took on a new franchise, the Westchester Silverbacks. The Jacks once again stuck to their playoff identity, only this time had a big lead in Game 1 and blew it.
And the Lumberjacks, unfortunately, they just come up short here.
Would they be able to mentally come back the next day? Of course, as Patrick Gleason absolutely slammed the door on the Silverbacks lineup, punishing them for their Game 1 thrilling comeback, and rode that momentum into Game 3. The Jacks lineup manhandled the Silverbacks pitching staff to win a blowout 17-2 victory, as Johnny Richko came in relief and held it down. He even won the Cy Young this year. The Jacks dynasty was official. They won 4 in a row, reaching uncharted territories.
4 championships in a row. That spells dynasty to me, ladies and gentlemen.
So now, the season we've been waiting to reflect on, 2021. The way this season started, it felt like this version of the Lumberjacks were ultra confident, as if they were striving for 5 straight titles. The confidence and chemistry was stronger than ever. This team was considered a family at this point. The Lumberjacks remained the same team as 2020 for the most part, but added 2 new huge additions to their lineup. Chris Nardozzi, who hits absolute misses, power hitter Justin Casanelli, with his twin brother Matt, who is a power arm in the closer's role. As 2021 got underway, the Lumberjacks dominated as usual, but one guy stood out the most, a player that would run the table in the league as MVP, Chris Nardozzi. Dozy would take the league by storm, hitting bombs, high average, and clutch doubles on a consistent basis.
This guy, Dozy, has lifted this team to new heights.
The Jacks originals, Lou Oso, Jamie Morales, Jeremy Brooks, Joe Elber, and Marco Segno, along with Kevin Carbon and Doc Kostrich, would just pile on the hits and the RBIs. It just seemed that it was destined that chip title number 5 was bound to happen.
Oh, yes, sir.
The Lumberjacks cruised the rest of the way to a 17-3 record.
And the Lumberjacks win it! They've reached the championship for the 5th consecutive year!
The championship, best of 3 series, was held once again at Credit Union Park. This series was interesting to say the least. The Jacks don't lose, but the Foxes haven't lost more than 1 game all year and swept the Jacks earlier in the season. So this time, the Jacks would not only have to beat the Foxes, but beat them twice in 3 games. Something had to give.
Let's do it.
The series was more insane than ever. The games were back and forth. The Jacks and Foxes traded blows. These teams battled it out all the way to the end. The series went the distance. In the end, one team had to win.
Mendel hits a moonshot! Damn, this guy's a monster baller!
Oh, yeah. Let's go!
And the Lumberjacks have given the Foxes all they could handle.
And unfortunately, the Lumberjacks came up short, and the Red Foxes won their first HVNABA championship.
Unfortunately, they just come up short here in the deciding game. Nothing to hang their heads about. So much to be proud of.
Some say all things come to an end, but this is just the beginning of their next run. The Lumberjacks fought with everything they had and gave it their all, representing themselves as 4-time defending champs in a great way. This season was a lot of fun. A team that should be proud of all their accomplishments. This will only build character and fuel the Lumberjacks to take back what belongs to them in 2022, winning back their championship crown. They will not be denied.
This is a Lumberjacks bachelor auction. Jamie's ass goes to the highest bidder.
Guys,
$1 trillion!
Pounds back, so it is a little more plump.
To the right, or your left.
I'm going straight down there. Okay. Straight down there. There we go.
No order business. Matt's not fully gay, so, you know, force yourself upon him. Clap it up for a lineup.
Let's go.
Welcome to the house that Pinto built and Dozy restructured.
Yes, sir.
Big thanks to Dozy for throwing this tarp on. As a real man he is. Finally put that gym to good use.
Doesn't get better than this.
That's it. I got a special guest announcing the lineup. Big Papa Diesel, Uncle Tom. Get out here, Uncle Tom.
Yeah!
up down here. Oh yeah. The fucking spark plug yesterday. He's reading out the lineup.
We owe it all to him.
Let's go. Papa Diesel, lead off, let's go. Yeah. Papa Diesel, lead off, let's go. Let's go, Kanye. Hey, Kanye. That's what I mean. Got guys behind you.
This is so you can get to the game. Start. Ready. Hike. Full start. Illegal use of the hands.
Big.
Better to win 2 today, fellas. Let's go. Prediction, Jackson 3. Let's go.
Can't win them all, fellas.
Show your opinion.
You know, let's hit you with this. Something to think about. Something to rest your mind on. The song Center Field. I recently looked at the lyrics. He's rounding third, ready for home, and he sees a brown-eyed, handsome man. That is us. A bunch of brown-eyed, handsome men. John Fogerty talked about us as a team, all right? We didn't have enough mustache last week. I grew a little extra for everybody. Big Mike grew a little extra for everybody, all right? All right? This one goes out to Carvin, can't be here today. R.I.P. his baseball career. We love you, Carvin. I would say fuck H, but fuck H. So big ass titties on 3, then 2 claps and a Ric Flair. 1, 2, 3.
Big ass titties.
Woo!
And as sad as losing may be, at least I can still do this. Jacks 2022.
Tell me about Marco as a head coach and a player.
Marco is a head coach and a player. I mean, there's only one real word to describe both, and that's just ferocious.
Well, I don't know what year it was, but apparently H just let the team down in the championship. Just never showed up like a total ghost, and I don't know. I guess he deserves what he got for his actions.
Fuck the pandemic and fuck H. That year, the guy misses the championship to go on a fucking cruise. Fuck H.
And here is H doing what he does best, fucking it up!
What's up, guys? Ice Cream Mike here. Just want to say, guys, 4-time champs. Let's bounce back for 5. Come on, guys, we got this. Remember, Danny Vitro. Mike out. Peace.
Ice Cream Mike's a legend. Let's leave it at that.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple opportunities to talk to Ice Cream Mike, on and off the field, and I think he's a great dude. He brings great spirit to the team. I'm not sure why he's called Ice Cream Mike, but I love it.
It says right here, Jacks 2022 champs guaranteed. Let's go.
Why won't you run home? Swear
1, 2, 3.
Big ass titties.